Session recap, Act 3 and Act 4. Blackroot Road, 1 a.m. to 5:35 a.m. Act 3, the quiet hours, 1 a.m. By the early hours of the morning, the camp had settled into an uneasy calm. The fire burned low but steady. Wagons stood close together. Guards remained at their posts. After the earlier chaos, the party chose caution over pursuit. They gathered the travellers close, asking everyone to stay near the fire so no one would wander off unnoticed. For a time, it seemed to work. No screams broke the night. No alarms were raised. The forest stayed still. Too still. Those hours passed without incident, or so it appeared. No one realised yet that people were still being taken. Bedrolls lay where they had been left. Packs sat untouched. Anyone missing could be explained away as resting elsewhere, helping another traveller, or stepping aside for privacy. The night kept its secrets. Act 4. The count, 4 a.m. to 30 a.m. As the sky began to lighten just enough to hint at dawn, an older woman near the dry goods wagons began moving quietly from fire to fire, wagon to wagon. She wasn't panicked. She wasn't shouting. She was counting. At first, it drew little attention. Then the party noticed her stopping, starting again, her lips moving as she whispered numbers under her breath. When she finished, she stood there for a long moment, then came straight to the group. "We're missing more people," she said. "Not one, not two." That was when the truth began to surface. As the camp was checked more carefully, the absences became impossible to ignore. Several travellers were gone. Among them was Finwick, the father from the dry goods merchants, and all 6 pilgrims were missing as well. Their wagons sat abandoned, bedrolls cold, packs left behind. No sign of panic, no sign of a hurried escape. The forest hadn't taken them. Something else had. The evidence. Once the party knew what to look for, the signs were suddenly everywhere. Small wax markings pressed into wood, leather, and cloth. A simple symbol, repeated, one for each missing person. Rope fibers snagged where hands had brushed too close to wagon frames or bedrolls. The same marks again and again wherever someone had vanished. 6 symbols in total, 6 missing pilgrims. The connection was no longer coincidence. As people were questioned, one traveller finally spoke up. He said he'd seen Finwick head toward the trees earlier in the night, distraught and searching. He also said the pilgrims had followed after him, claiming they would help. Finwick never came back. The pilgrim's wagon. The party searched the pilgrim's wagon. What they found was not a confession, but it was enough. Rope cut and retied, wax mixed with ash, herbs meant to dull the senses, scraps of parchment marked with the same symbol they'd been finding all around camp, and memories began to line up. The pilgrims always stayed together, always spoke in hushed voices, always prayed. One of them would dip a thumb into a small jar, then press it gently into another's palm, a gesture no one had questioned at the time. Now it looked very different. By the time the camp fully understood what had happened, the pilgrims were already gone. Finwick's fate. Following the direction given, the party moved into the woods, no more than 20 or 30 yards from the edge of camp. There, beneath a clumsy pile of branches and brush, they found something carefully hidden. When it was uncovered, there was no doubt. Finwick lay there, his body intact, his throat cut with terrifying precision. Clean, expert, almost surgical. Even Rowan, trained in the art of killing, could not help but recognise the skill behind the wound, and felt a cold mix of respect and unease. This had not been done by a beast. This had been done by someone who knew exactly what they were doing. Willowstep in the trees. As the party took this in, a shape moved above them. From the branches came Keth Willowstep, the half-elf scout. She had been watching, following. Suspicious of the party at first, believing they might be connected to the disappearances. But once she saw the body and saw their reaction, she came down from the trees. Willowstep admitted she hadn't found clear tracks. Whoever had done this had covered their trail well. But she had noticed a pattern, not footprints, but movement, a way the forest had been disturbed that repeated itself. "It's not a trail," she said, "but it leads somewhere." With that knowledge, the party returned to camp, gathered their gear, and prepared to move before the cult could get any farther ahead. 5:35 a.m., the living swamp vine. As the group set out, the forest struck back. A scream tore through the trees behind them. They turned just in time to see Nightroot ripped from the ground, yanked upward by thick green vines. Above them, clinging to the branches, hung something unnatural, a mass of plant and vine shaped like a jellyfish, pulsing slowly, its tendrils reaching down like grasping limbs. Nightroot slashed himself free with his sickle and fell, only to be caught by Afdath, the Goliath, who broke his fall. The fight was brutal. The creature hung nearly 20 feet above the ground, forcing the party to rely on ranged attacks and desperate maneuvers. Every wound they dealt seemed to close almost immediately. Arrows struggled through branches, blades hacked at regenerating vines. Each round, the thing tightened its grip, crushing anyone it managed to seize. Afdath climbed into the tree, hacking at the mass with sickle and hand axe, while the others fired and struck from below. Slowly, painfully, they weakened it. Not enough to kill it, but enough to force it to retreat higher into the branches, still regenerating, still alive. Realizing the danger, the party pulled back, choosing survival over a prolonged fight. That was where the night left them. The cult was ahead. The forest was hostile, and dawn was only minutes away.